Today we're going to go through the luxury level, the over $20. Are they worth it? Is it hype? Are they made for us or are they made for somebody else? We'll see. I'll let you know what I thought in testing all these and trying them out, and which ones I would buy again and which ones I wouldn't, because there are some I would not buy again. Some of them are designed clearly for a younger woman, not for us. Let's get to it. Okay, so let's start off these luxury concealers with Tower 28. Okay, Tower 28 Swipe All Over Serum Concealer retails for $22. It's hydrating, natural skin-like finish, medium buildable coverage, contains hyaluronic acid and lysine, and comes in 20 shades. Tell you about my results from trying this out as I'm putting this on, because it's really cold out here today and I would like to finish this up before my fingers freeze. I got it in shade 9.0 MDR, and I found it to have medium coverage. Let's start over here. If you've watched my other concealer videos, you might notice I'm trying a different application technique this time. Have to kind of balance between these dark lines and the wrinkles and creasing problems. So this time I'm going to, instead of just stopping up near the corner of the eye, I'm going to blend it out more from the line down and try to leave the part between the line and the eye free. As you can see, it blends very nicely with either a brush or a sponge. And I might just try to finish it off with the finger here. It comes with a long, skinny applicator, which is nice because you really don't need very much. If I'm putting it on under my eye, I just use the very tip of it. I use the flatter side when I'm using it on a larger area like my very nice sunspots. But this color is good for me. The application goes on nice. I found that once it sets up, it has a skin-like finish and only minimal creasing with wear. I double-checked the creasing with my wrist testing, although that was kind of awkward trying to film that, so I didn't leave it on there to film. But even with all the movement of the wrist and all that creasing there was very minimal creasing. So that was, a big success. And it just looks really nice. It's got a nice finish. I'm still trying to figure out how things look on film that are different than how they look in person. But in person, the finish is very nice. I hope it shows up on the film too. And it's really cold today, so I hope my lens doesn't get all fogged up. Okay, so that's the Tower 28. And I really like it. I mean, it's a good one. Okay, so the next one we're going to try is the Lancome Tint Idole Ultra Wear All Over Full Coverage. I do not speak French, so I'm sure I butchered that. but this is it. They claim all over full coverage with a natural matte finish, lightweight under the eye, a good up to 24 hours, and reviews say good coverage, not cakey, expensive but worth it. The reviews are mixed on creasing and fine lines. This one costs $29. It has a really large doe foot, so it's good if you're covering up large areas, but you gotta be careful under the eye or you'll leave way too much product there. I've got the shade 320 Bisque Warm, and it's a good color for me. As you can tell, it takes very little product. It's very creamy, it blends really easily. And I would definitely call that full coverage. I mean, that dark sunspot is nowhere to be found. I found that they all work better if I concentrate them right on that line and outwards, and then just blend it in a little bit. See, it blends in really nice, very nicely. I found that there was a little bit of creasing when wearing it for a long time, but not very much. And I like the skin-like finish that this one leaves you with also. And that one is Lancome's, followed by some French words, but it's their concealer, and it looks really nice. Okay, so for our next one, I've got Kosas Revealer Super Creamy Plus Brightening Concealer. This comes in a full size, but I got it in a mini size. The full size runs $30. This mini size was $15. It comes in 38 shades. It gives you a radiant finish. It's got a little sponge, kind of straight doe foot. The company says it's a radiant finish, medium coverage. It's formulated in an eye cream, which I like. It includes skin treatment ingredients, including hyaluronic acid, peptides, caffeine, and pink algae extract. The one thing is, with all these expensive concealers, you really need very little product. I'm using shade 04N, which they describe as a light medium with neutral yellow undertones. I think this shade is a little too yellow for me, but once it blends out, it's fine. It's blendable, it has that skinny doe foot I showed you, so you can dot it on easily. You can press it easily into fine lines, and provides medium coverage. You just have to be a little careful when you're blending it, because until it sets up, you can rub it off. But it was one of the longest wearing ones that I tried. So if you need to give it a little time to dry up first, before you get too aggressive with finishing the blending, it's going to work fine. This is really nice also. Getting this far in the testing, you're going to assume that I love all these expensive ones, but I really do love these first three. If I was going to be wearing this all day, I would take a little time after it sets a little bit and just press it gently into the fine lines. And then you're not going to get a lot of creasing with this one. It performs really well. And that's the Kosas. Okay, so the next one is NARS. It's their Radiant Creamy Concealer. This is a mini size. The full size is $30. This mini was $15. If you're going to be trying different concealers and they're expensive and they come in a mini, I would suggest getting a mini to make sure that you've got the absolute perfect color and that you like the formulation. This one comes in 30 shades. It says it's medium to full buildable coverage, long wearing, evens, blurs, brightens the under eye area, and crease resistant, transfer proof. The shade I'm trying is Vanilla Light 2. It's too pink for me. If I was going to get it again, I would get a more neutral or warm shade. This one also has a skinny doe foot, but unfortunately, I had a lot of problems with creasing with this one. I mean, a lot of problems with creasing. It's really good coverage on the dark spots. It's pretty thick, even though it's creamy, so by the time you blend it out, you don't really have good coverage anymore, but it says that it's buildable, so maybe we could add more. I mean, you can tell that this is thicker than the other ones because I'm having a hard time getting it smoothed out. Also, just so you know, I've got nothing on my face except I put some little bit of color corrector and powder on the tip of my nose because I don't know what's going on with that since the surgery, but today it looks particularly bad. Because it was so thick, I have a hard time blending it out, and by the time I get it blended out, then it doesn't have really good coverage. So my next one is Tarte's Ultra Creamy Shape Tape Concealer. I also got this one in a mini. The full size is $32. They call this the travel size, which is $15. And they claim full coverage, 16-hour. So now, the next one is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I also have a small trial size of this one. It's called Anastasia Beverly Hills Magic Touch Concealer. So there's a better look at it. It retails for $29. This is a trial size. It's supposed to be hydrating, creaseless. Reviews say creaseless and full coverage for even really dark lines. I have it in shade 2. I thought I probably needed a 3 or a 4 when I first tried it, but I think it dries down to a shade that's good enough. My thought about this is it dries down to a kind of makeup-y look, which is not the look I've been going for. And as you can tell, it's pretty thick, so you are going to get good coverage with it if that's what you're looking for. Today I've got nothing on my skin. I think I said that, but I can't remember. Except for a little bit of color corrector and a tiny bit of powder on the tip of my nose, so it doesn't look so weird. As I take these off, every once in a while I'm adding some eye cream to help keep my under eye from irritated from all this on and off. All right, so let's see what I can do about blending it down here for you. Now I can really be aggressive in blending this down because it's very thick. See, I can't really get it blended down very well with a brush or a blender, and even now using my finger I'm starting to see creases in here. This one might be good for a younger woman, but who has smoother, tighter skin, but it's not the right thing for my skin. And that was the Anastasia Beverly Hills. Okay, so I definitely need a little eye cream after that one. That took a lot of work to try to put it on and a lot of work to get it off. Okay, next one is from Nicole Beauty. I really like her products because they're designed primarily for mature faces with mature face problems in mind, or maybe not problems, challenges. This is her creamy concealer. It retails for $30. It's high coverage, luminous finish. It's only in 3 shades so far, but she has plans to add more products as she gets feedback on what kind of shades she needs to add. She added 61 new products or new product formulations in 2024, so we need to give her time to come up with some more shades. Most of the reviews said it to be creaseless. Only complaint was one person said it wasn't 100% coverage. I'm using the shade Light. The color is a bit too pink for me. It's more like a light cool rather than light. The finish I found to be a soft matte. There was some creasing, and I thought it was medium coverage, which is good enough for me. It comes in a nice little skinny doe foot that's easy to dot where you want it. I said that and then I got it in the wrong spot. Okay, so as you can tell, it is a little too pink for me. It's creamy, it's blendable. It should be able to give you, if you're careful with the blending, medium to full coverage. I'm a little more aggressive in my blending because I'm more interested in good blending than full coverage. I really like most of her products, but I have to say this is not my favorite. Although I will probably like it more when she adds some more shades. So this is what that concealer looks like. One more to go. Okay, the next concealer is from Bare Minerals. I think they make 2 or maybe 3 concealers. This one is their original liquid mineral concealer. It retails for $30. It's supposed to visibly brighten dark circles and reduce the looks of fine lines. It comes in 22 shades. It doesn't say its coverage level, but says it's buildable. Reviews range from cakey to translucent, but most reviewers do like it. The shade I've got here is Fair 1.5W. It's too light for me. If I was going to get it again, I would get a darker shade. But this came in a kit, I think. It's really watery, so it's easily blendable. It does dry down. It has minimal creasing, but it makes the skin look dry. And I guess that's kind of to be expected. I have that same issue with some of the other Bare Minerals products. But as you can see, it blends really easily. And that's because it's so thin. Yeah, I got way too much product there. Let's just paint my whole face. I guess with just a little bit of this, you could use it as a foundation. I knew better than to use that much product. I don't know why I did that. Okay, so now you can tell on here, it's not even completely dry yet, but it's already making my skin look dry. And it's not even dry yet. So I don't know, I can't really recommend this for mature skin if you've got any kinds of issues with dry skin or wrinkles or fine lines. As the other reviewer said, it did pretty good with creasing because it's so thin you can really blend it out to a very fine coverage. But it's making my skin look dry and it's not even dry yet. So it's not one of my favorites. That was the Bare Minerals concealer. I will be back to give you my conclusions on everything as soon as I warm up and put a little more makeup on. So I'll be back. Okay, so here's my summary of conclusions for these. The longest wearing on the hand test, where I drew the black line and then put it on and let it just go, wearing it the rest of the day, creasing it as I was bending my wrist. The longest wearing ones on the hand test were the Lancome, the Kosas, and the NARS Radiant, also Nicole Beauty, and surprisingly Bare Minerals. It was such a sheer application, I really didn't think it would last all day, but it did. My favorites were the Tower 28. I liked the finish, the skincare additions, and the minimal creasing. The Lancome Teint Idole. I liked the skin-like finish, some creasing, but better than most, and didn't make my skin look like dry wrinkles. I also liked the Kosas. It was a good finish, easy to press into the lines and blend out. I liked that it was formulated into an eye cream with nice skincare ingredients. The other ones, what would make them better? The NARS, it just creases too much on my old wrinkles under the eye, but it's great at covering up dark spots. Probably great for a younger woman. The Tarte, I like the full coverage, but better for a younger face, not mature wrinkles again. The Anastasia Beverly Hills, there was only some creasing, but they made the skin look makeup-y, which made the wrinkles look more obvious. So I'm not getting that one again. And the Bare Minerals, it didn't crease much because it was so thin. I got a very thin application, but the skin still looked so dry, which is a problem I have with some of their other products. And if you could tell what it looked like on the film, I mean, made my skin look dry and it wasn't even completely dry yet. So that's kind of what I thought about that. Now, oh wait, and the Nicole Beauty, I forgot about that. I love her products, but this is a very limited shade range so far. It had a nice look on the skin, but there was some creasing. I would probably try it again, but not until there's a better shade range. The strange thing is, I had a lot more favorites in the under $10 range. I think in that one there was like 6 favorites in there, and those all cost under $10. So, you know, I'll do a heads up on my favorites from that group and this group some other time. But that's where all this stands. Sometimes, you know, you get something that's better when you pay more, but sometimes it might not be what's right for you. So keep the cost in mind, but don't go just by the cost. There's plenty of wonderful options for mature faces in the under $10 range, and I would rather spend my makeup money on something like eyeshadow than on high-end concealers. So that's my final take on that. If you have a favorite concealer that's over $10 or over $20, you know, leave a comment below. If you disagree with any of my findings, put that below too. I mean, other people should know. If it's not like I'm the concealer goddess. If you have different results, put it down below so people can see other points of view. But that's it today for my silver mirror. Keep looking in your mirror. Please like, subscribe, and leave some comments. I'm really struggling to start this here, so I really would appreciate it. Thank you.